Hello and welcome to this video. We will be looking at how to come up with a session plan. Remember, it's very important, especially for this competency-based curriculum, to be able to plan your sessions so that you can utilize the time allocated optimally. So on the session plan, you usually have first you have a reference number, which will depend on the particular naming of the institution. The first thing on the session plan is the date. That is when the date where the training or teaching will be taking place. Then time. That particular time, either the session is for 40 minutes, then probably the time is from 10 to 10:40 a.m. So you put the range of the time, that is from 10 to 10:40 a.m. The trainer name, so you put your full name, admission number. Yeah, this one can be like an employee number. The real scenario, if you're not on teaching practice, this one was filled for as a trainer on teaching practice. But so the TP institution, or rather the institution that you are training or teaching, the level, the level of the class or you are taking, you are training, and that you are the trainees are in which level. Like you can have level 6, others that you can teach, others that are on level 4. And the particular class, one class can be associated with a particular intake, so the name of that class. On this part of the standard, you are not supposed to write standard, but it's the unit code. The unit code of the unit of competence. You are supposed to write the unit code. Then you write the unit code here. This is the unit code for this particular session. Or rather, these sessions lies under which unit of competence? See, unit of competence, you get it from the OS. OS is the occupational standard that you document, or you can check from the learning. And the unit of competence is demonstrate occupational safety and health practices for this example. And this is the unit code. Yeah, this is the unit code. So you go also next to the session title. This is the title for this session. And the session in this example is hazards in the workplace and all its indicators presence. Yeah, then other requirements for the learner group. It will be a language, literacy, and numeracy. Yeah. Those are other requirements for this particular group that you are teaching or training. Then you go to the learning outcomes, very important. They say that by the end of the learning, by the end of the session, the learner will be able to, then you list down the learning outcomes. Depending on the duration of the session, you can have one and as many as possible, like the much you want to cover in the session. Remember, when the session is for 20 minutes or 40 minutes, it's not the same like when the session is for 20 or for 2 hours. Yeah. So for this particular one, you have 2 learning outcomes. Those learning outcomes will not be very many, because you may end up not achieving them in the time. So this should be realistic. One of the learning outcome is explain the meaning of terms in the occupational health and safety in the workplace. Identify workplace hazard and risk indicators. Then the next session is resources, references, and learning aids. So we have references and learning aids. Reference materials. Use APA format for references. So references can be included books, that is textbooks, equipment manufacturer specifications, and procedure manuals. Then we have learning aids to usually enhance learning. You can have video clips, workshops, infographics. Yeah, presentation slides, all those can form part of the learning aids. That is depending on what you want to deliver in the particular session. Determine the type of learning aids that you'll be using. Safety requirements for the class, like compliance with the OSHA standards, occupational safety standards. And look at the aspects like COVID-19 safety, or even the arrangement of the room. Hereby should enable free movement or comfortable movement of learners, and also exit in case of emergency. So the session presentation, first we start with the introduction part that takes 5 minutes, because this session is for 20 minutes. In this introduction, you take a roll call, review the previous session, state session title. This now the title for this session and the expected learning outcomes, so that the student can be aware of the same. Outline environmental and safety considerations. Safety. You let the learners know the safety precautions. For instance, if you're in a lab, you may need to notify them that this is a dangerous chemical that you need caution in handling, such, so that you avoid accidents. Session delivery. So we have various sections in the session delivery, and you have train activity, learn activity, and the assessment criteria, how you assess each section. So the first 10 minutes, the trainer will be posing questions on terms applied in occupation health safety. So the trainers are expected, or the learners are expected, to give responses. And this particular part, we are assessing knowledge by oral questioning and written assessment. The next section, we have 15 minutes. They be playing a video clip showing the type of hazard in the workplace, and the learners are expected to watch. That's the learner activity. Watch and note down the workplace hazards. Still be testing knowledge or assessing knowledge by oral questioning and written assessments. Next one is the group discussion, whereby the trainer will coordinate a group discussion on the hazards and risks as they have seen them on the video that was displayed or played. It will take 25 minutes. Use illustrative talk to guide the trainees in identifying workplace hazard. So they will be able to be guided on how to identify workplace hazard. So the learners or trainees are expected to point out the types of hazard as per the video. And here we are testing knowledge by oral questioning and written assessments. The other last part is for 40 minutes, whereby the trainer will be guiding the learner on how to identify workplace hazard as per standard operation manuals. So learner activity here will be in groups. The learners will visit different workplace and work environments and analyze the hazard and the risk indicators in reference to the video they watched, and they come and present their findings. Here we'll be assessing skill by project and portfolio. So that one will be for 40 minutes. After that is done, now we can go to session review part. Whereby now you can summarize what you have covered in the session. And allow learners to ask if any question. That session will take for 5 minutes. And give an assignment. That will give a student a chance, or the learners a chance, to explore more on the content that was covered on the session. So this part of the assignment, and the total time now should be 20 minutes, or the time that you intended to cover in the session. Remember, it can be a session of 40 minutes. So this section should the total time, if you add all this, it should give you the allocated time for that particular session. Yeah, that means you are able to meet the allocated time and be able to meet the learning outcomes within the specified time or the allocated time for the session. So then later you can have you be able to reflect on the session. Like you can try to look if you achieved all the learning outcomes, and just like there all the learning outcomes were met or were achieved. If they are not achieved, then you can try to figure to reflect on why was it not achieved, and try to improve next time, that we avoid now sessions where the learning outcomes are not met. Okay, so that is the part of the session reflection. Then you append your signature at the end.